Welcome back, everybody. There seems to be a new disturbing trend spreading across the country. They are antibiotic-resistant superbugs. Now, these bugs have forced researchers to find alternatives to fight the diseases. And here to talk more about these alternatives is Mark Mincolla. He's our natural health care expert. Good to see you, like
Great to be
always.
here. Thanks.
What brought these superbugs about? Because it does seem like just in the last maybe 10 years we've started to hear about this.
And more information is coming out, but it's really one word: overuse, unfortunately. You know, in 1936, Kim, when antibiotics were first developed, they were heralded as a miracle drug, and they were. Problem is, overuse since then has really forced these bacteria to get stronger, to adapt. They've done that. Now we've got super strains.
You know, I've heard so many times doctors say, I'm not going to give you this penicillin because someday you may really need it.
Exactly.
And I guess that's exactly what we're talking about.
It is, and unfortunately, 70% of our present exposure to antibiotics is from livestock.
Really?
It is.
Wow. All right. So we're talking about alternatives. What are they looking for out there?
Well, you know, they're looking at different genomes, microbial genomes, new exotic tropical environments. They're really digging everywhere, but they're also looking at common foods.
Which, I mean, it just seems like you at home may hear us say this over and over, but what you eat is what you're all about.
Food really can be medicine, especially in this case. They're looking at things like different kinds of honey, oregano, the oil from oregano. They're looking at agents that are very powerful compounds in coconuts. So they're looking at common foods now.
So are these things, are they, why are these things? I mean, are they just full of nutrients that we need? Or what's the fighting agent?
Yeah, well, there are actually compounds in these various foods called methylglyoxyls, and these compounds actually help the buildup of immunity within your system, and they break down the immunity of the bacteria, so the bacteria can't adapt. So when they're exposed to your immune system, they get squashed.
So would we be taking those kinds of things naturally, like just eating honey or eating some form of coconut, or would that ultimately be put into some kind of supplement?
Well, actually, at this point, some of these are in whole food form. There's a honey actually from Australia and New Zealand called Manuka, M-A-N-U-K-A, Manuka honey. Very powerful agent, studied in 2009 at the University of Sydney against a number of very powerful strains, including flesh-eating bacteria, and it wiped them out. There was one bacteria that it was tested against, Kim, that actually was resistant to 13 different antibiotics. So Manuka honey is something you'll find on the shelves at the health food store. Also, oil of oregano, something that was studied as far back as 2001. Dr. Harry Preuss, Georgetown University, very powerful agent, natural agent against Staph aureus, which is a powerful bacteria. And obviously, there's really great research that's ongoing in these areas. And also, as far back as 1982, Dr. John Kabar from Michigan State University did extensive research with coconut oil. Lauric acid is antiviral, antibacterial, antiprotozoal, antifungal, very powerful agents from foods.
If these are working on these super bugs, will they work on the common cold? I mean, are they helping you in any medicinal way? How does that work?
Well, that's a great question, and indeed the answer is yes, especially with things like lauric acid, which is now in a supplement form in the health food store called monolaurin. Antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal, antiprotozoal. It's been tested as far back as 1982 against influenza A, bird flu, swine flu, successfully.
Is any dangers in eating these foods? Or
no. These are very common foods that are very safe, readily available, and I think people just need to know that they're out there. Do their research, check into them, speak to their doctor about it, but they're available.
And what's going to happen if I start taking that honey on a regular basis, just like if I took the penicillin too often? Am I going to become immune to that?
No, that's one of the really important questions. There is no resistance to this stuff, so you could take, and by the way, it doesn't take much of this honey. It only takes like a quarter of a teaspoon.
A little bit in your tea.
Just a little bit in your tea every morning. Big difference at preventing some of these bacterial problems.
That is absolutely amazing. I'm telling you, we are what we eat. That's the bottom line.
We sure are.
If you need more information from Mark, you can certainly check out his website. It's maxhealing.com. And Mark is also going to be presenting Healing Diseases with Food at the Healthy Living Magazine Expo on Sunday, September the 12th. It's from 1 to 2 o'clock at the Stevens Estate in North Andover. You can visit myhealthylivingmagazine.com or the number that you've seen there on the screen for more information. Going to be a fascinating expo there, learning more about the natural way to take care of your body. Very nice to see you.
Great to see you, Liz.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.